In today's video, I look at what's currently going on in the Bitcoin world and how Bitcoin has hit that $1 trillion valuation mark. And I also do some high-level research about penny stocks and compare them whether it's worth investing in them over growth stocks. And I reveal how I break down my investments currently at the moment. In the last year, if you've started investing like me or have been looking into the stock market, you would have obviously have done some research on stocks in individual companies and looked into the holy grail of safe investing with indexes like FTSE 100 and the S&P 500. But if you're really like me, you may have also stumbled across penny stocks.
So where are your quotrons here?
Quotrons?
Yeah, computers.
No, we don't even need computers here. We just trade right off the pink sheets here.
Pink sheets?
Yeah, they're penny stocks. You know, companies that can't get listed on NASDAQ, they don't have enough capital, their shares trade here.
Penny stocks?
And now you would have definitely heard about Bitcoin as well, and how it feels as though we're hearing every week that it has hit a new threshold. Now I don't know about you, but I personally feel like I'm being pulled in all sorts of directions, trying to work out where is the best place to put my money. So today I decided I'm going to look into all three and understand whether I should deviate away from my regular growth stock investing and venture out into the other options that seem to be blowing up right now. First of all, the topic I probably know the least about, and that's penny stocks. Now it makes sense to start off with what actually are penny stocks. Well, by definition, penny stocks typically refer to the stock of a small company that trades for less than $5 per share. Now some of these stocks can be found on the New York Stock Exchange, but many of them also trade under privately owned markets, like we saw in the clip from Wolf of Wall Street. Now previously, penny stocks were considered as any stock that traded for less than $1 per share. But currently, the SEC has modified the definition to include all shares below $5. However, in the social investing world, it seems as though the definition could be pushed as far as $10 to maybe $15. Now, as penny stocks are usually quite small, it also means that they have a lack of willing buyers, making them very speculative investments, as you go in buying lots of shares with the hope that there will be a large swing. However, as the price is so low, a large swing can be a few pennies or a few dollars. For instance, if you were to buy one stock of Amazon, it would cost you $3,250. And therefore, in order to double your money, you would need Amazon to go up by another $3,250. Whereas a penny stock like Sundial Growers, you could have bought one stock for about 60 cents last month. And this month, it would be worth $1.50, making a 121% increase. Therefore, if you had put the same money that you would have put into that stock of Amazon into Sundial, you would now have just over $7,000. And actually, Sundial hit the $3 mark at one point in the last month. So if you had cashed out at that time, you would have returned just over $10,000. However, at the same time, if the stock price went down, it also means that the amount you can lose is very high as well. So for instance, if you had a moment of FOMO and tried to jump in on Sundial when it hit $3, thinking it's going to carry on going up even further from here, but then as it did, it dropped to the price as it is now, you would have actually lost almost $1,000. This then shows you how penny stocks can be very, very risky. But there are also blue chip stocks that fall into the penny stock status. And these are nationally recognized, well-established companies that have the potential to do really well. And of course, this pandemic has resulted in some companies falling into this bracket. For instance, Rolls-Royce. Now everyone knows the brand Rolls-Royce, but most people will arguably know them as the most luxurious car makers in the world. However, their main business is actually within the aerospace and defense market. And as the whole airline industry has had a major hit in the last year, Rolls-Royce stock has fallen from its highs of about £12 down to a share price of just under £1 a share. This then makes them a very interesting company to possibly buy, as there is a good chance that they will go back up in value once the world reopens fully and there is a need for the aerospace market to start buying again. But personally, I find penny stocks a bit too much like trading, as I feel you really need to do a lot of work by learning and watching the markets and being able to buy at the right time and sell at the right time. And to be really honest with you, I'm actually quite lazy and much prefer to invest in the bigger companies that I know have a bit more market credibility. And by all means, I could take a bet on a few of these penny stocks, and without investing a lot of time and effort to really understand the companies, I could get lucky and make quite a bit of money. But at the same time, I could also be unlucky and lose all that money, where I know I could have much more higher levels of probability that my money would go up in value a little if I was to just put that money into my well-known growth stocks or into the indexes that I invest in, like the FTSE 100 and the S&P 500. But if you are interested in buying these penny stocks, there are a few of them available on the Trading 212 app, but you have to be in the Invest account in order to find them rather than the ISA account. Currently, Trading 212 are taking a very long time to get back on its feet and accept new registrations. But currently they have a waiting list, which you can sign up in order to get notified when they are ready to take on new registrations again. And then you can use the referral link down below or the referral code itself in the description in order to get a free share worth up to £100 when you set up your own account. Now there is Bitcoin. Now I know a little bit more about Bitcoin as it is something that interests me, and I genuinely feel that the world will be better off if everyone decided to adopt cryptocurrencies as a method of transacting. But recently, Bitcoin has been stealing all of the financial headlines. But why? Well, it probably started back in December when Bitcoin hit new highs of $20,000 per Bitcoin. And then, one of my favorite companies and favorite CEOs announced that they had just bought 1.5 billion, yes, that's billion with a B, of Bitcoin. And that was of course Tesla. But then the question started arising, when Elon Musk has been tweeting about Dogecoin, why did Tesla decide to buy Bitcoin? This is where it gets a little bit more interesting, as Elon Musk tweeted that Tesla's action is not directly reflective on his own opinion. Having some Bitcoin is simply a less dumb form of liquidity than cash, and that it is adventurous enough for an S&P 500 company to actually try it out. But then he went on further to tweet that, to be clear, I am not an investor. I'm just an engineer and I don't even own any publicly traded stock besides Tesla. However, when fiat currency has negative real interest, only a fool wouldn't look elsewhere. Bitcoin is almost as BS as fiat money. The key word here is almost. Now at the end of 2020, Tesla had more than $19 billion in cash or cash equivalents. So investing 1.5 billion into Bitcoin is only a fraction, well, about 8% of what Tesla has. And quite frankly, it's been a pretty good investment, as they would have bought their $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin at the end of January, where the price of Bitcoin was around $34,000. But then with the valuation of Bitcoin being currently $56,000 at the time of recording this video, that means that already within this month, Tesla has seen a 65% increase in their investment, which means that they have made just over $900 million just from investing $1.5 billion into Bitcoin a month ago. Now, to put this into perspective, Tesla only made $721 million in revenue from their electric cars in the whole of the year 2020. Therefore, this Bitcoin investment has given them a return of over 30% than their day-to-day business. But get this, Tesla might be the only company that's in the news talking openly about investing in Bitcoin. But actually, there are a few large companies that have begun to accept Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, such as Twitch, the Amazon-owned streaming service. The parent company of Burger King and Tim Hortons, called Restaurant Brands, have started to accept Bitcoin in certain countries. And similarly, the parent company of KFC and Pizza Hut and Taco Bell have also started accepting Bitcoin in certain countries as well. Then we have PayPal, probably the largest online fintech company, also announced that in the US, users can buy, sell and hold select few cryptocurrencies. Even Microsoft has been accepting Bitcoin as a means of payment on their online Xbox store. Now this is not an exhaustive list, but it does show that more and more companies are starting to accept Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, proving that there is a future for this method of payment, which naturally supports the idea that Bitcoin will continue to go up in value as the demand continually increases. But one other thing I kind of skipped over is the fact that by breaking the $50,000 mark, if Bitcoin was considered as a company, it also now would have entered the realms of the elite few companies that can say that they have $1 trillion or more valuation, joining the likes of Apple, Amazon, Microsoft and Google. And when we consider Bitcoin becoming the replacement of gold, when gold has a market valuation of around $10.5 trillion, this just means there is a lot of room for growth with Bitcoin. Now obviously Bitcoin definitely seems to be a great investment right now, but as history has shown us, every time when Bitcoin hits its all-time highs, there's always been a market correction bringing the value of Bitcoin down, which brings us back to the conversation of being able to time the market. When is the right time to buy and when is the right time to sell? There will be lots of people online saying various different things, but once again, if you don't have the time to fully understand the industry or be able to watch the market day in, day out, it's always going to be a very risky business. Now personally, my portfolio is broken down to have 10% invested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And I also use Coinbase, which by the way is also the same company that Tesla used in order to buy their Bitcoin. And I have a referral link down below if you want to get $10 for free when you buy or sell your first $100 within the platform. Then the rest of my 90% of investments, I pretty much split it up into 30% within the S&P 500 and FTSE 100, then another 30% into dividend stocks, and the last 30% invested into companies that I have researched and found interesting. And those companies are usually tech companies for me. Now I've actually thrown £100 or so into some penny stocks, but as I've not done enough research in them to really know what I'm doing, I'm actually down 25% with them. And at the end of the day, I think this is the best way to invest for me. Having most of my money in the stock market in companies and indexes that have a proven history of doing well over a 10-year period, and then using a small percentage of my money with riskier investments to test the water. But as other investors will tell you, the riskier you get with your investments, the more you have to be ready to forget about that investment if it was to go belly up. But as I've mentioned before, I have no financial background whatsoever, so if you choose to invest in anything, I strongly suggest you seek professional financial advice. But this is just a little insight into what I'm doing and the research that I'm doing to help myself along my investing journey. As always, I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the comments down below as to how you're investing your money and what you think about penny stocks and the future of Bitcoin. But that's it for today's video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you head down to that red button and subscribe now. And you might as well hit that bell button as well so you get notified when my next video comes out. And as always, like this video, comment down below and share with your friends and family. Peace and love to all of you. See you on the next video. Bye.